Mom and Dad, are you ready?
Today's word is stupendous.
You need some encouragement.
Stupendous marriage encouragement.
You need some inspiration.
When you said the grass is greener on the other side, but the truth of it is the grass is greener where you water it.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Stupendous Marriage Show
With our friends Stu and Lisa Gray.
Everyone loves that word. Stupendous.
The Stupendous Marriage Show.
Hello, what's up? It's the Stupendous Marriage Show. I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
How are ya?
Hi, it's a rainy Monday. Isn't there a song?
I think it's supposed to rain like all week in Tennessee.
Yes, we are quite babies about this when we have a lot of rain.
We are. It's nothing compared to what the folks in the Carolinas have gone through by any means at all, which is horrible.
Yeah.
And so it seems like we're big babies about crying about the rain.
It is so much. Life is so much about perspective. I mean, I heard somebody on the radio say they're still not letting people back into the Carolinas to teams to help yet, which is crazy to me because that hurricane came through, a week and a half ago?
At least.
And so, here I am complaining about our dog. So yesterday morning we get up, getting ready for church. The first thing, the routine of the day is I go in and I get him out of his kennel. We have two dogs. One sleeps in a kennel and one sleeps in the office. The one that's in the kennel, I go in there and I get him out and I carry him outside so he can use the bathroom.
Oh, not yesterday.
Not yesterday.
Oh, before you even left our bedroom, you're like, honey, something smells very funny. Did the cat or the dog do something in the front room? I can smell random things. And
yes, it was a very yucky smell.
Walking through the house, and you're like, smells horrible in here. What's going on?
Well, and it was like a horror flick. I'm not joking. In my head, thinking back about it now, there should have been theme music. I really should have had theme music. I opened the door, creak, and the smell almost knocked me over and almost made me throw up.
Oh,
and
poor
then
guy.
of course, his kennel is covered up by a sheet, so I couldn't see inside. Just the smell hit me, and then I stepped forward. I'm serious. I can hear the theme music in my head right now. Yeah, exactly. And then I lift up the sheet.
She nearly keeled over and died. Yes, right?
Well,
Woo!
he is literally, his whole tray in his kennel is poop, it's diarrhea, and he's covered in it.
Oh.
And I threw the sheet back down.
And she comes running into me.
And
She's
I
like,
come running. Because you were getting ready to take a shower, so I'm like,
don't get in the shower first. We got to clean the dog first.
Yeah, I was like, oh my word.
So we still don't know what he ate.
No.
That caused this profuse problem. It was kind of gross.
It was so
really bad.
gross.
Really bad.
And pretty much it I don't want to say ruined our day, but it completely detoured our day.
Yeah.
But when you think about that, 2 hours, and it did take 2 hours, and the house still smells a day later, but 2 hours, we're kind of back on schedule if we want to be. What about the people in the Carolinas? They are now a week and a half in to their life being completely upside down. And here we are. We pretty much spent the entire day whining and complaining about the horrible thing that had happened yesterday morning with the dog. It's all perspective. Life is so much about, especially I believe in our culture and being in the U.S., what we live in, the world we live in, the daily routine that we live in is not what a lot of people live in. We are so blessed and privileged to be able to have clean water and have electricity and have all the things that we have. And man, it's so easy to forget. It is so crazy easy to forget. And yesterday was just a reminder, in the middle of this chaos, that we, even though we're dealing with a lot of yucky smells, are still very blessed and don't really have much to complain about.
That's so true. And we will get over the stinky smells. It'll be okay.
Yeah, our smells will be much easier than what they have to deal with all the mold in the water. And
oh, my goodness.
So anyways, if you were affected by the hurricane, just know that we're praying for you. And I know lots of folks are just waiting to come and help with cleanup. We didn't live in Katrina when it hit in New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
But we had so many friends who did. And it was just crazy the time, the months, and even the years.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites Mr. Rogers always said, when tragedy happens, look for the helpers, look for the people who go into, those are the people who are inspiring us. They are the ones that we look to because there are always people who come and help and want to help. And that's the God in those situations. And that's always a good thing to remember because I don't know if I'd be one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would respond in those situations if I had an opportunity. We've always said we wanted to go back and help for Katrina. We were never really able to do that. We were part of a church that really stepped up in that area and did that, but we were so separated from it. And in that season of our life, we had Dean, he was a baby, and we weren't able to go back and help like we wanted to. I just hope that I would be that type of person if it was directly in my situation.
In our area, so in Tennessee, a lot of people may not know who don't live here that we are actually called the volunteer state. That is kind of the logo or theme of the state. And
our motto, if you will.
The motto, yes, that's the word I was looking for. And in 2010, we had a really bad flood in the Nashville area. There were so many houses that flooded, so many people that have water in their houses that had never had water issues before. And man, I know that people came from other states, especially like people who are not volunteering but actually trying to come work and generate business.
Yeah. Yep.
And they couldn't find any business because they said there were so many people that were just stepping up in our area to help and so many teams coming from all over Tennessee to help that they had never seen anything like that. We helped a couple different families in that scenario way back then, and we continue to do so in the future. But it really is crazy and cool how people's attitudes change about each other and about seeing somebody in that kind of need that all of a sudden hate goes away and distrust goes away and everybody's like, hey, what can we do and how can we love on you? So if you're in the Carolinas, just know that we're praying for you. We look forward to hearing from you. We hope that everybody can get in there soon to help you.
We've got an email coming up. We're glad you're here today. Couple ways to send us an email. On air at stupendousmarriage.com is the direct way to do it. Or you can go to our website at stupendousmarriage.com. Look for the big blue button on our homepage, and you can send us an email that way. Email for today. Hey, Stu and Lisa, have a question. I have developed a crush on someone who is not my husband. It happened at a small group that we are in at church. This guy is married. He's a strong personality. I enjoy being around him and how he looks at his wife and kids. It's something that my husband doesn't do as much as he used to. Also, my husband doesn't seem as put together as he is. I haven't pursued anything with him, and I never would. But what do I say to my husband?
When I read this email, honestly, I thought a lot about Facebook because I think on social media, and not just Facebook, but Instagram, and I think on social media, it is really easy to see all the positives in somebody's world and to make a lot of assumptions about what they don't experience, assumptions about what they may or may not do in their private life. And I think that is reminding me, this question is reminding me of how easy it is for us to think of the grass as being greener on the other side. When we watch somebody else's life, we think, oh, wow, they have it all together. Man, I just always remember no one has it all together. We're all broken. We're living in a broken world. We're all broken. You may not see it and you may not know it, but there have been so many people during my life that I've talked to that I look at and think, oh, they are there's nothing wrong in their world. And then when I talk to them and I dig deep with them, I quickly find out that they have insecurities and fear and jealousy and just so many different things that might be going on, hurts and pains and remorse and all these things they may have going on that you would never see on the outside. And so this email actually really hurt, I hurt for her because I do think that it's really easy to do in our world today to look at somebody across a room, to even interact with somebody and perceive them to be one person, and most likely it's not real. That's not who they are 100% of the time. Yeah,
they're putting their best foot forward in that particular situation at your small group, so you're seeing the best of him probably in that situation. You don't know what he's like the rest of the hours of the week.
Right.
And you said the grass is greener. on the other side. But the truth of it is the grass is greener where you water it.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you. Not trying to diss you at all. I think there's some work that you can really do here. You need to ask yourself the question, what does this guy represent to you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something that I have had to learn in my struggles with fantasy and pornography. The images don't mean anything. The videos don't mean anything. But when something hits me, and it can be a temptation or an interest or something, I've got to say, well, what is that? What am I looking for there? Ultimately, I'm looking for God. Ultimately, I'm looking for connection. I'm looking for love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my brokenness takes me to a different place. But am I looking for playfulness? Am I looking for, man, I'm feeling lonely right now, and I wish my wife would love me or play or tease me or do something funny, ha ha ha. So what I'm saying for you in this situation, you're seeing an image of this guy. You've spent some time in a good environment with him, and something in you is going, wow, I'm missing something. Ultimately, you're wanting connection, but what does he represent that you feel like you're not getting from your husband? You kind of answered it in your email a little bit. You like how he looks at his wife and kids. Your husband isn't doing that as much right now. And maybe there's something about him that looks put together in that particular situation. Maybe your husband is not. And your feelings are signposts. They are not the end destination. So I was glad that you said, I've not acted on anything. I'm not going to do anything. But your feelings are signposts, okay? So you're looking at them. They're directing you somewhere, right? So you've got to figure out, one, where they're directing you, and where you want that to lead. You want it to lead to your husband. You want it to lead to God and connection with your husband, family, not to this other place. So you've got to do the work for yourself. What is that representation? What is he representing in your life that you feel like you're not having or getting right now from your husband?
Well, and I think it's really great, as you already said, that she has not acted on this and she doesn't plan on. And recognizing, hey, I'm having this thought, I'm having this feeling, but I haven't acted on it. I don't plan on acting on it is awesome. Her last question to us was, what do I say to my husband? And I don't know that you necessarily have to confess that to your husband. I think that's something you have to really ask the Lord about. I think in your exploration of figuring out what reason, what's the thing that's drawing you close to him would be really good.
That's causing your feelings.
Causing your feelings. I think also recognizing that the enemy is at work here.
Oh, yeah, totally.
He is a liar, a deceiver. He is, we heard a teaching where they talked about he is a confuser. He wants to confuse our minds. He wants to confuse us to think that we don't have what we need to have. Every commercial nowadays is, you deserve this. It's all about you. It's all about you. So the enemy right now is putting thoughts in your mind to say, hey, wow, look at him. He has it all together. Ooh, look at how he treats his wife and kids. Oh, well, your husband doesn't do that anymore. And you've got to capture those thoughts. You've got to stop those thoughts and literally say, you know what? You must be gone in Jesus' name. And my husband is this positive thing, and this positive thing. And remind your mind and your body who your husband is, who you are, how sacred your marriage is, and that the enemy has to flee. And I think if you really start to do that intentionally, if you stop your thoughts, evaluate them, speak against them if they're from the enemy, I think the Lord will start to reveal to you that guy is not all that. And he will actually shine a light on your husband to where you see your husband in a different light maybe you aren't seeing. Because it's so easy in marriage just to kind of get in our rut. We see each other all the time and we talk about the kids and the schedule and the dinner. And, and it's so easy just to get caught in our rut. We see something flashy and new over here that seems like it's all like, ooh, exciting.
Squirrel.
Yeah, it's really easy to get drawn to that, but that's what the enemy wants to do because the Lord doesn't want that. He wants us to reignite, to keep hot, keep focused on our marriage, our spouse, and how we can glorify him through it.
Like you said, the enemy is the accuser and the confuser. And I talked about feelings before. I mean, what were those feelings that you had for your husband originally? Feelings are signposts, but what you need to stand on is the truth. Just like Lisa said, declaring those things about your marriage and your husband that you've liked. Now, once you've worked through that process a little bit, if you're going to have a conversation with him, you need to, 1, affirm him first, 2, tell him the things that you're feeling that you're wanting from him possibly more of. Man, I would love for you to spend more time with me. I would love to feel more involved with you in your life and the things that you're doing, and I would love for you to look at me more, and non-sexual touch and whatever those things are that you need. And then end the conversation by affirming him again. Man, I love you so much. I want to do life with you. We're building a great life together. It's that Oreo sandwich technique, the two positives and then the thing in the middle that you want to work on and grow. That is one
That's
technique
so funny.
that does work. Sometimes all techniques don't always work all the time, but that way you're affirming on both sides, and then there is something to work on that you give him as well.
And that might be something that as you start to capture your thoughts and start to really refocus on your husband and remember who he is, your crush may fade. It may very quickly fade, and you might be able to, at some point in time, confess it to your husband in almost a jokingly way. Like, one point in time, I actually saw so-and-so and was thinking, wow, he's really great, and he has it all together, and da-da-da-da. But then I realized that was the enemy talking to me. Again, our war is not against each other. You're not against your husband. He's not against you. So you have to stand side by side and look at the situation together, being on the same team, going in the same direction. And so if you stand beside him and go, hey, look what I just went through. I was starting to feel like I had this crush, but I stopped. I started capturing my thoughts. I started realizing how not true those thoughts were and started remembering all the things that I love about you and all the ways that I love you and how cool and awesome you are. I just want to tell you that this was happening, that I've come through it on the other side. And I'm excited to really start focusing more on you and me and us. I just think it's received in such a different way. I think, again, a lot of times, especially as women, I think we automatically want to go out and just like bleh and just spill all our guts. And there's times to do that. Absolutely. But maybe this is not one of those times. Maybe you take a little bit of time for you and the Lord.
Sure.
And process through it a little further so that when you do go talk to your husband, you can talk to him from a place of victory and not a place of being tempted. And that's something you have to discern for yourself. Again, this is a you and the Lord conversation to really be had. So we're just mostly trying to give you some practical steps and tools to be able to start walking through.
And one thing just to say to clear the air, temptation is not sin. You're having these feelings and you're catching it early. So that's really good. You're thinking about your thoughts. And a lot of people don't do that. It's, I have this thought. I have to act on it. But there is always the pause. There is that piece in the middle where you go, I can choose. That's what God has given us, free will. And if you don't take that pause and do something with it in that moment, then, that's where it can bite you in the backside. Mm-hmm. And that's the work that you have to do.
And that's so great. I just applaud you for realizing I have these feelings, but I'm going to choose to stop, not to move forward on them. And I really want to talk to my husband and figure it out. Man, that's so awesome to hear. And I would love to know if you're listening to the show and you've walked through this scenario, if you've had this situation where you were, just feeling some feelings towards somebody, where you were having a crush on somebody and you are now on the other side of this, whether it was something that you actually acted out in and pursued that relationship, or whether it's something where you were able to refocus yourself on your marriage. Man, I would love to have your input so we could share with this listener. You can email us at onair@stupendousmarriage.com. You can reference this episode 162, and that way we can just kind of relay your information, your thoughts to this listener to give her encouragement as well.
I know at least a handful of people have probably gone through this. email us your questions for marriage on air at stupendousmarriage.com. You can also use our voicemail number, which we would love to hear from you. I think other people would like to hear from you too. 615-592-1060. That number is available 24/7. And if you're out of the United States, you have to add a 1 to the beginning. 1-615-592-1060.
And if you have not already, you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter that is sent out every Saturday. I know we sent out a free resource for last week's newsletter, and we'll continue to do that moving forward, sending out resources that are like practical things, tools that you can reference and look at. So you can actually subscribe by going to stupendousmarriage.com/subscribe, and that will get you signed up to that newsletter to get every Saturday.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show.
Yeehaw.
Share the podcast. Tell another couple.
Hold on. Hold up.
I don't have anything else to say. I don't have anything else to say about that. On the other side, but the truth of it is.
Awesome. Her last question to us.
What else can we say?
That we don't need to say any more housekeeping stuff. Okay, let's start over. Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show. Share the podcast. Tell your married friends.
Yeah.